Have you ever wondered how Canada, known for its polite people, stunning landscapes, and freezing temperatures, became the country it is today? In today's video, we will be embarking on an intriguing journey to uncover the rich history and mind-boggling facts about this remarkable nation. From its early beginnings to its formation and evolution, Canada's story is as diverse and vast as its landscapes. But that's not all. We'll also be sharing some surprising facts about Canada that you probably didn't know, like, did you know that Canada is home to more lakes than the rest of the world combined, or that it boasts the longest coastline of any country in the world? These are just a few of the fascinating nuggets of knowledge we'll be diving into. So get ready to have your perceptions of Canada challenged and expanded. Stay tuned as we journey through the history of this fascinating country. Canada's history stretches back much further than you might think. Our journey through time begins with the First Nations people, the original inhabitants of the land we now call Canada. These diverse groups of indigenous peoples, including the Inuit and the Métis, had rich and complex societies long before the arrival of Europeans. They thrived, developing intricate trade networks, cultural practices, and spiritual beliefs, all deeply rooted in their respect for the land and its resources. Around 1,000 years ago, the Norse, led by Leif Erikson, were the first Europeans to set foot on Canadian soil. However, their stay was brief, and it wasn't until the late 15th century that Europe would once again take interest in these distant lands. This was when the Italian explorer John Cabot, sailing under the English flag, arrived on the eastern shores of what is now Newfoundland. Following Cabot's voyage, the French and the English, drawn by the promise of wealth and new territories, began to establish their presence in the region. The French, under the guidance of Samuel de Champlain, set up Quebec City in 1603, one of the oldest European settlements in North America. The English, not to be outdone, established their first permanent colony, Jamestown, in Virginia. However, their influence in Canada would grow stronger over the centuries, especially with the establishment of the Hudson's Bay Company in 1670. The struggle for control between the French and English over these vast, resource-rich lands led to numerous conflicts, culminating in the 7 Years' War. The Treaty of Paris, signed in 1763, ended this global conflict and marked a turning point in Canada's history, as France ceded nearly all of its North American territories to Britain. And so, with the arrival of Europeans, a new era began. The Indigenous people's way of life would be forever altered, and the landscape of Canada would be reshaped in ways unimaginable. The arrival of the Europeans marked a new chapter in Canada's history. The 16th century brought significant changes to the lands we now call Canada. The first Europeans to set foot on Canadian soil were Norse seafarers, who arrived in Newfoundland around the year 1000. However, it wasn't until the 16th century that Europeans began to make their mark on the land. The French, led by Jacques Cartier, established a colony in Quebec in 1534, marking the beginning of a long period of European exploration and settlement. As more Europeans arrived, the landscape of the indigenous peoples began to shift. The French, English, and Dutch established trade relationships with the First Nations, exchanging European goods for furs. These alliances, however, were not always peaceful. Conflicts arose over territory and resources, often leading to violence. Despite the hardships, the First Nations people demonstrated resilience and adaptability, maintaining their cultural practices and political structures. The 18th century saw the British and French vying for dominance over the vast North American territories. The result was the 7 Years' War, which ended in 1763 with the Treaty of Paris. This treaty saw France cede most of its North American territories to Britain, marking a significant turning point in Canada's history. The formation of Canada as we know it today began with the Constitutional Act of 1791, which divided the province of Quebec into Upper and Lower Canada. This was followed by the Act of Union in 1841, which united these two provinces into one, known as the Province of Canada. The road to Confederation was paved with political debates, rebellions, and negotiations. Finally, on July 1, 1867, the British North America Act was passed, creating the Dominion of Canada. This new nation included 4 provinces: Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. The formation of Canada was a complex process influenced by the interplay of European powers, indigenous communities, and emerging colonial governments. This dynamic and often tumultuous history has shaped the diverse and multicultural country that Canada is today. By the time of Confederation in 1867, Canada was a diverse and growing nation. The 20th century was a time of rapid change and growth for Canada. Transitioning from a British dominion to a fully independent nation, Canada emerged from the shadows of the world stage to become a player in its own right. In the first half of the century, Canada was thrust into the global spotlight as it took part in the two world wars. The country's contribution to these global conflicts was significant, with hundreds of thousands of Canadians serving in the military. The wars also brought about a shift in the country's economy as industries were mobilized to support the war effort. This led to an economic boom that lasted well into the post-war years. The Great Depression of the 1930s, however, halted this progress, causing widespread unemployment and economic hardship. But like many other nations, Canada used this adversity as a catalyst for change, implementing social welfare programs and economic reforms that laid the groundwork for the country's future prosperity. As the century progressed, Canada experienced a cultural renaissance. The country's unique blend of French and English heritage, along with its growing diversity due to immigration, began to shape a distinct Canadian identity. Canadian literature, music, art, and film started to gain recognition, both domestically and internationally. Economically, Canada saw the rise of major industries like mining, oil, and manufacturing, propelling the country to become one of the world's top economies. The development of these industries, coupled with the country's vast natural resources, played a key role in shaping Canada's economic landscape. Towards the end of the century, Canada began to play a more prominent role in international affairs, participating in peacekeeping missions and advocating for human rights and environmental sustainability. The country's reputation as a peaceful, tolerant, and welcoming nation grew, attracting immigrants from around the world and contributing to the multicultural mosaic that is Canada today. As we entered the 21st century, Canada was a thriving multicultural nation. From the battlefields of the world wars to the bustling urban centers, from the sweeping landscapes to the diverse cultures, Canada's journey through the 20th century has been one of resilience, growth, and transformation. Today, Canada is known worldwide for its diversity, politeness, and stunning landscapes. At its core, modern-day Canada is a vibrant tapestry of multiculturalism, a testament to its welcoming immigration policy and commitment to inclusivity. From the bustling streets of Toronto, often described as the most multicultural city in the world, to the quaint French-speaking towns of Quebec, the cultural landscape of Canada is as diverse as it is vast. Yet, amidst this cultural diversity, there's a shared Canadian identity. A nation known for its politeness, Canadians are often associated with their friendly demeanor and willingness to lend a helping hand. This culture of kindness is deeply ingrained, a reflection of the country's values of respect, tolerance, and community. In the political arena, Canada stands as a parliamentary democracy. Governed under a constitutional monarchy, the Queen of England is the ceremonial head of state, while the Prime Minister holds the reins of the government. This unique blend of British and American systems reflects the country's historical ties and its commitment to democratic ideals. Nature, too, plays a vital role in the Canadian identity. The country's natural beauty, from the Rocky Mountains' majestic peaks to Niagara Falls' thunderous waters, is nothing short of awe-inspiring. Canada's commitment to preserving its natural heritage is evident in its vast network of national parks spanning over 300,000 square kilometers, larger than many countries. These parks serve as a sanctuary for an incredible array of wildlife and offer a haven for outdoor enthusiasts. Canada's modern culture is also rich in arts and entertainment. Canadian musicians, actors, and authors have made significant contributions to the global stage, from chart-topping music hits to award-winning literature and film. This thriving arts scene is a testament to the nation's creative spirit and its commitment to supporting artistic expression. But there's more to Canada than meets the eye. As we delve deeper into the heart of Canada, we'll discover fascinating facts, untold stories, and a nation that continues to evolve, embracing its rich past while looking forward to a promising future. Now let's dive into some unexpected and fascinating facts about Canada. When you think of Canada, you might conjure images of maple syrup, hockey, and perhaps friendly, polite people. But Canada is not just about those. It's a country teeming with surprises, and its uniqueness extends far beyond the cliches. Let's start with something huge, quite literally. Canada is the second largest country in the world by land area, spanning over 9 million square kilometers. But here's the twist: despite its massive size, it's also one of the least densely populated places on Earth, with only 4 people per square kilometer. Speaking of size, have you ever wondered about the longest coastline in the world? It's not in a tropical paradise, but right here in Canada, stretching over 200,000 kilometers. That's more coastline than the rest of the world combined. Let's pivot to something a little sweeter. Yes, it's true, Canada is the world's largest producer of maple syrup, accounting for about 71% of the global supply. But did you know that the province of Quebec alone makes more than 90% of Canada's output? That's a lot of pancakes. From sweetness to strength, let's talk about the national animal of Canada. It's the beaver, an animal known for its industrious nature and architectural prowess. The beaver is an integral part of Canada's history and even appears on the Canadian 5-cent coin. Now, onto one of Canada's most defining cultural elements, its linguistic diversity. While English and French are the official languages, more than 200 other languages were reported as a mother tongue in the 2011 census. This linguistic diversity is a testament to Canada's rich multicultural fabric. And speaking of diversity, did you know that Canada is home to over 30,000 lakes? That's more than any other country in the world. And one of them, Lake Superior, is so vast that it could cover the entire land area of the United Kingdom. Now let's talk about something quirky. Canada has the world's only town named Saint-Louis-du-Ha-Ha, located in Quebec. The ha-ha is actually a reference to an archaic French term for an unexpected obstacle, and not just an expression of laughter. Finally, let's end with a fun fact about the national flag. The iconic maple leaf in the center of the flag wasn't always red. Until 1965, the maple leaves on the Canadian coat of arms were green. The change to red was a nod to the autumnal hues of the Canadian landscape. These facts give a glimpse into the unique character of Canada. Canada is a country with a rich history and a vibrant present, a land that has seen millennia of indigenous cultures, the arrival of European settlers, the formation of a nation, and its growth into a modern multicultural powerhouse. We journeyed back to the early times where the first inhabitants of what we now know as Canada left their mark with vibrant art, complex societies, and a deep connection to the land. We explored the tumultuous era of European settlement, a time that forever shaped the country's destiny. The formation of Canada, born from the union of 3 British North American colonies, was a pivotal point in our narrative. Then we ventured into the 20th century, a time of great change and development for Canada. We saw the nation grapple with 2 world wars, the Great Depression, and the advent of new technologies. Yet through it all, Canada emerged stronger, more diverse, and more united. In the present day, we see a Canada that is a beacon of multiculturalism and inclusiveness. A country known for its politeness, its passion for hockey, and its breathtaking natural beauty. A place where diversity is celebrated and where the spirit of reconciliation with its indigenous peoples is a national priority. We also delved into fascinating facts about Canada. Did you know Canada boasts the longest coastline in the world? Or that it's home to the world's largest polar bear population? And let's not forget, it's the birthplace of the beloved game of basketball. In our exploration, we found that Canada is a country of contrasts and surprises. It's a place where the past and present coexist, where the urban and the wild intermingle, and where cultures from around the world find a home. From its humble beginnings to its current status as a multicultural powerhouse, Canada truly is a fascinating country. From the depths of its history to the heights of its modern achievements, Canada continues to captivate and inspire. Here's to the Great White North, a country that never ceases to amaze. We hope you've learned something new and interesting about Canada today. It's a country as fascinating as it is expansive, filled with unique histories, cultures, and landscapes that are just begging to be explored. It's always a joy to peel back the layers of a place and discover what makes it tick. If you enjoyed this journey through Canada's past and present, why not let others in on the fun? Share this video with your friends, family, or anyone else who might appreciate a good dose of knowledge. Did any fact or story catch your attention more than the others? Don't hesitate to drop a comment below and let us know. And if you're hungry for more insights into the world's many corners, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more videos in the pipeline, each one a new adventure waiting to unfold. Remember, there's always more to discover about the world around us. Until next time, keep exploring.